Anthropic's new hardware standard gives AI agents a unified way to control lab equipment, boards, and cameras through one interface. This is Models and Agents, episode 155. Anthropic opened a research preview of its model hardware standard today. The effort invites partners in science, robotics, and manufacturing to shape a common driver layer for physical devices. It starts with lab and manufacturing gear and will extend through Claude code to boards and cameras under one interface. The preview will also generate new safety evaluations since current models still lack physical intuition from text and image training alone. Collaboration began with HHMI and now seeks input across multiple industries before any open source release. This moves the agent tooling conversation forward from yesterday because it targets the exact standardization gap that has limited reliable hardware control so far. OpenAI ran a randomized study with more than 1,000 students on a real university assignment. Students who combined ChatGPT use with explicit critical thinking training produced stronger answers and broader thinking than either approach alone. The study measured gains in originality metrics and overall assignment scores. Builders working on educational agents should test similar training scaffolds before deploying raw model access. Cisco rolled out a single custom AI agent across its entire 90,000-person workforce. The deployment gives every worker the same agent tooling rather than scattered point solutions. Early results tie the rollout to measurable productivity lifts inside the company. The agent was built internally and distributed uniformly with attention to access controls and audit logging at this scale. AWS released guidance for combining Amazon Quick with the FAL platform to create agent-driven creative pipelines. The setup lets agents orchestrate image and video generation steps with explicit tool calls. Developers can follow the published notebook to wire agents directly to FAL endpoints without custom orchestration code. The pattern supports step-by-step agent control over generation parameters and output handling when reproducible pipelines matter. The py-evoFE library version 0.30 uses genetic programming to discover and chain feature transformations for tabular datasets. It ships with more than 40 built-in transformers, polars-backed vectorized execution, and multi-fidelity screening. The package is 100% scikit-learn compatible and includes an interactive HTML replay viewer for inspecting the evolutionary process. Hierarchical chaining allows evolved features to serve as building blocks for later generations, and it supports island model parallel search plus post-search Caruana ensembling. Workday linked recent earnings growth directly to internal AI agent usage in finance and HR workflows. The earnings report explicitly attributes profit and revenue increases to these agent deployments. Enterprises watching agent return on investment should review how Workday measured time saved versus error rates in production. Simon Willison posted an open question on when users switch between the chat and work modes in the ChatGPT iPhone app. The thread is collecting real usage patterns around task routing and default settings. Early replies are surfacing distinctions in how people route different kinds of work between the two modes. Everyone talks about re-ranking as a simple quality knob you turn up or down. In practice, it is a shifting bottleneck whose location depends on query rate and the relative cost of the re-ranker versus the downstream LLM. When query load is high, the re-ranker itself becomes the dominant latency source. Evidence front-loading reorders candidates by marginal coverage of the query, so the first few documents already contain most of the necessary facts and multi-hop chains. Because the coverage objective is monotone submodular, a greedy selection step guarantees a 1-1/E approximation while keeping the candidate list short. The second half of the technique, pressure adaptive budgeting, measures current load on both stages and shrinks the re-rank budget only when the re-ranker is the slower component. The net result is higher recall at lower P95 latency on multi-hop QA workloads when the front-loaded set truly captures complementary evidence. The approach was tested on 3 multi-hop QA datasets plus online serving simulations. Use this pattern when your serving trace shows re-ranker latency dominating. Fall back to full re-ranking when the LLM generation step is the clear bottleneck instead. Join Anthropic's MHS Research Preview if you work with lab or robotics hardware. The preview is the fastest way to test a unified driver layer before it reaches open source. Install py-evoFE and run it on one of your tabular datasets this week. The evolutionary search plus Caruana ensembling often beats manual feature work on structured data. Follow the AWS Notebook for Amazon Quick plus Fall agentic workflows if you need reproducible image or video pipelines that agents can call safely. Read the OpenAI student study results and test a similar critical thinking scaffold on your own internal prompt library before shipping raw model access to end users. Review Workday's earnings discussion for concrete metrics on agent-driven time savings in finance and HR processes. Anthropic plans to extend MHS coverage to additional device classes during the research preview. More labs are expected to publish joint cyber defense guidance following today's OpenAI and Anthropic statements. Additional multi-turn diagnostic datasets for clinical LLMs are already appearing on Archive following the MT-Diag release. Before we go, the next wave of enterprise earnings reports will show whether agent adoption metrics become a standard line item across the sector. That wraps up today's AI briefing. Share this with a developer or builder who wants to stay current. Subscribe wherever you listen. See you tomorrow, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nera Network. Links in the show notes. One more thing, if you liked today's episode, our sister show OmniView is worth a spot in your feed. A balanced daily world news briefing that takes every side seriously. It's one of the Nera Network's daily briefings, all free at neranetwork.com. Prefer reading? Today's full write-up, sources, and transcript are on the episode blog at neranetwork.com. Same briefing, readable format. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.